recently somebody on Instagram, or I think it may be Facebook, was asking me like what's up with the different colors for license plates on motorcycles and scooters in Taiwan. So I'm taking a break right now, climbing up Yanmingshan Mountain at a place called Cine Cafe, which is it's the first time coming here. Actually, I kind of like it. Do a little bit of a walk around in a moment. But getting back to the license plate issue, there are four different colors: green, white, yellow, and red. Now, how this works: if you have a car license, you can ride a green plate. A green plate is up to 50cc. We're going to just use round numbers. Actually, it's 49, but we'll just use round numbers. Let's say 50. If you want to get a white plate, you have to go take a test, multiple choice test, and then a bit of a road test. I say that, and I'll explain that in a moment, which you have to ride for 1 year. And then if you want to get yellow or red, which is over 500cc, then you take another test. But so I'll explain it this way: car license, green plate, no problem at all. Now, when I first came to Taiwan, green plates were everywhere, but they've been replaced by white plates just around the time that I came here, around 2000, 2001, well, late 90s, 1997. So if you want to get a white plate, this is what you do. You go to the Department of Motor Vehicles, you have to do a health test. The health test is an eye exam and dexterity. Then they bring you to a room and sit in front of a computer. There's multiple choice questions like, what do you do at this turn? Tests on different road signs, etc., etc., etc. If you pass that, then you do this. I'm not going to call it a road test. It's a bit of a course. You have to ride around. So you have 10 seconds to coast to a certain point and then come to a full stop, indicators and such and such. Now, if you're a foreigner and you're coming here, it is a little bit complicated because Taiwan does have some agreements with some countries. So your motorcycle license from home can be converted to a local one, but it's very few. I was lucky in that I can do it. But if you're from countries like Canada and Australia, it's not by country, it's by state or province, which is like really all over the place. So once you get the white plate and you pass I call it the obstacle course, then they bring you to a room for 2 hours and they show you videos of like scooter and motorcycle accidents. And then you get it. Now, the whole thing is quite inexpensive compared to other countries. You'll see the prices here, and I will convert them to US dollar later on. So the whole thing costs around, the last time I checked, the last time somebody went, it was like 3,000 to 4,000 Taiwan dollars. After you get the white plate for 1 year, then you can go for anything above 500cc. So green plate up to 50cc, white plate from 90cc to 250cc. Yellow plate is 250cc to 500cc, and then everything above 500cc is red. After you've written your white plate for 1 year, then you can take a course and apply to get a yellow and red plate. Then you have to go back to school. This is not a DMV, and I'm not going to really call it a school. It's rather inexpensive to get the yellow and red plate license. So the price I'm going to give you is the price in the general area where I live, and it's pretty much the same. But there's other areas of Taiwan where it's more, and some places it's cheaper. The area that I live, it's 7,000 Taiwan dollars. So for 1 week, you go for 2 or 3 hours, and this is just to really get people familiar. If they've only ever ridden scooters and they don't know how to ride with a clutch or gears, they help with that. And you have to do this obstacle course. Once you get familiar with it at the back of your hand, they'll say on a Friday, oh, come next Monday, 7:30 in the morning. Well, the place where I live anyway. And you do the test. There's some people there from the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, and they ask one by one to do the test. And if you pass, you pass, and then you pick up the license a few days later. So it's very inexpensive. And I know that overseas, I mean, I've heard some nightmares from friends of mine that live in the United Kingdom at actually how expensive it is. which is really silly. So yeah, to get the white plate license, you have to be 18. You have to wait till 20 to get a yellow or red. So you pass it and you're 20, you could go up to 2000 cc if you want. The other nice thing is that the insurance here is not tied to your age, unlike in many, many other countries. The insurance is what it is. So somebody who's my age will pay the same age as somebody who is younger or even older. It doesn't really matter. But to go for the yellow and red plate, depending on, like I said, depending on where you're from, Taiwan might have an agreement with that country. So you kind of have to check. The website for Taiwan's Department of Motor Vehicles is a little bit of a mess. And it's not quite up to date. It shows that it's up to date, but it isn't. You have to call. And you can call, and one person will say one thing, another person will say something else. So you physically have to go there in person. And they will tell you what countries you could just take your motorcycle license from home and get a local one for yellow or red plate. So the whole thing, like with the license and all that, that actually isn't that expensive. What is expensive, of course, are the motorbikes. Especially when you're talking about like 500cc and more. Then it becomes expensive. Very expensive. A price of, let's say, a Pan America Harley Davidson, a bike that I actually like. For the price you pay in Taiwan, in the US and in Europe, you can buy two. It's double the price. Same with my Honda CB 1000R Black Edition. The price in Europe and the US is maybe around $11,000 or 13,000 euros. Here, it's over 25,000 euros. You could literally buy two. And that has to do with the duties and tax. But I mean, it just is what it is, and that's just the way it is. So it's not really that bad. Oh, a nice little yappy dog, really fun. Anyway, we'll give you a small walk around of the place, and then I have no idea where I'm going to head up next. So I think we'll have to find out later. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that answered the question that somebody was asking me on social media. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.